Chapter 7. Cold panic washed over me. I let out a gasp. Then I lowered my head and ran. All 5 of us were running hard. Our shoes thudded on the pavement. It sounded like a cattle stampede. I could hear the teacher screaming angrily from his stoop. His voice was high and shrill on the heavy night air. I didn't turn back. Had he really seen us? Had he recognized us? Lenny is so tall. I'll bet he recognized Lenny, I thought. The front lawn was so bright he had to have seen us, I decided, feeling a chill of dread. Cassie stumbled into Jordan, but quickly regained her balance. Spencer led the way, running hard, waving his flashlight high in front of him. 1,000 pictures flashed through my mind as I followed him, running so hard my sides started to ache. I pictured the police at my front door, dragging me away as my parents watched in horror. I pictured myself trying to explain to my parents why I was out in the middle of the night, destroying Mr. Crowell's Christmas display. I pictured Mr. Crowell standing over me, accusing all of us. I saw Mr. Hernandez, the principal, handing me my records file, telling me I could never go to Shadyside High again. Horrible, frightening pictures. And then, as I shook them from my mind, I heard laughter. I felt so startled I nearly stopped running. Spencer's laughter, gleeful laughter. "That was awesome," he cried, waving his flashlight high. "Awesome." And then Lenny and Jordan were laughing too. "Did you see the look on Crowell's face?" He went as red as the reindeer's nose. "Happy holidays, Mr. Crowell." "And Happy New Year." The boys were laughing and congratulating each other, slapping Spencer on the back, hooting and shouting loudly, too loudly. I glanced around, wondering if we were waking up people in the nearby houses. Once again, we stopped in front of Spencer's house. 2 large gray cats stared at us from the driveway. They tilted their heads as if trying to figure out why 5 teenagers were out so late. "Spencer, that was horrible," Cassie scolded. She gasped in the air, trying to catch her breath. "You loved it," Spencer shot back gleefully. "It was horrible," Cassie repeated. "It was awesome," Spencer argued. Lenny turned to me with a grin on his face. "Wish I had a camera," he said softly. "What if he saw us?" Cassie demanded. "No way," Spencer insisted. "He could only see our backs." "He could never prove it," Lenny added. "Even if he saw us, even if he suspects it was us, he has no proof." "Right," Jordan agreed. "We were all home safe and sound in our beds, right?" "I thought we were going to do illegal things," Cassie said angrily. "Yeah, you should have warned us," I told Spencer. He didn't reply. "When do you guys want to go out again?" he asked. "Tomorrow night?" "Huh? Go out again?" Cassie cried. Spencer nodded. "How about tomorrow night?" "Excellent," Lenny exclaimed. "What do you say, Diane?" I swallowed hard. My throat felt dry. My heart still raced from our long run. "Only on one condition," I replied. I turned to Spencer. "You have to warn us before you do anything crazy," I told him. "No problem," he said. He grinned and scratched his white blonde hair. "Do you mean it?" I insisted. "No more surprises?" His grin grew wider. "I promise," he said, raising his right hand. "Cross my heart and hope to die." Chapter 8. Lenny dropped me off at my house. I crept inside, trying to be totally silent, but when I reached my bedroom, the phone was ringing. I dove across the bed and grabbed the receiver. "Hello?" I whispered. "Diane, it's Brian. Brian Hedges. He's the guy I broke up with last winter when I decided I wanted to go out with Lenny. Lately, Brian had been pestering me about getting back together. I felt bad that I had hurt Brian's feelings, and I have to admit, I was flattered to have 2 guys interested in me, but I didn't want to go out with Brian anymore, and I certainly didn't want him calling me in the middle of the night. "It's too late to be calling, Brian," I whispered. I glanced at my alarm clock. "What is your problem? It's nearly 3 in the morning. My parents will take away my phone if you woke them up." "Sorry," he whispered back. "I just wanted to talk, you know." "Well, I can't talk now," I shot back angrily. "Really, Brian, I don't want you calling. "We really should talk," Brian insisted. "I mean, maybe Friday night after the basketball game." "No way," I interrupted. "Give me a break, okay? You know I'm going with Lenny now." "Lenny is a jerk," Brian muttered. "You and I." "Good night, Brian," I groaned. "I'm hanging up now, and don't call again. I mean it." Brian's voice suddenly turned menacing. "You'll be sorry," he said. "Excuse me?" "You'll be sorry, Diane," he repeated, "if you keep seeing Lenny." "Is that a threat?" I cried shrilly. "Brian, have you totally lost it?" I didn't wait for his reply. I slammed the phone down. My heart was pounding. My hands were balled into tight fists. I felt so angry I wanted to scream. What right did Brian have to call me in the middle of the night and make ugly threats? Oh! I cried out as the phone rang again. I grabbed the receiver angrily and raised it to my ear. Brian, I'm warning you. Diane, I saw you tonight, a whispered voice rasped. Brian, stop it, I cried. I saw you tonight, Diane. I know about your night games, the voice whispered. Get off the phone, Brian, I cried. You're not funny. It's you, right? Brian? Brian? Last winter. Chapter 9. Spencer drew a deep breath as he turned the old car into his uncle's driveway. The ski cabin stood at the end of a long, winding mountain road, and Spencer had missed too many curves on the way up. I'm lucky I didn't skid off a cliff in this piece of junk car, he thought. Why don't they put guardrails on those turns? He was still shaking from the dangerous drive, but now that he had arrived, he could relax. He waited for Diane, Lenny, Cassie, and Jordan to join him for the weekend. His uncle promised that there was plenty of food at the cabin and wood for a roaring fire, cable TV, and his uncle's artificial Christmas tree waiting to be decorated. Spencer couldn't wait for his friends to show up. After last night's snowfall, the slopes would be perfect. Everyone would be impressed by his uncle's cabin. The only way the weekend could be better was if he had a girlfriend with him. Spencer hated being the only one without a girlfriend. His friends thought he was shy. They always teased him about it, especially Lenny. They didn't get it. Spencer knew he could find someone to date, but he was picky about who he went out with. She had to be smart, pretty, and fun. Someone perfect. Someone like Diane. Thinking about Diane, Spencer scowled. When Diane broke up with Brian, Spencer thought for sure she would go out with him. They had been friends for years, and he knew Diane liked him. But Spencer had waited too long. Lenny asked Diane out first, and then it was Diane and Lenny together all the time. Spencer climbed out of the old car and waved at the headlights of Jordan's Jeep. Jordan came from a rich family. It must be nice to get cars as his birthday present, Spencer thought. The last birthday present he got was a pair of out-of-style sneakers from his dad's store. As Jordan pulled into the snow-covered driveway, he gunned the engine. The wheels picked up snow, flinging it over Spencer. It whipped into his face, stung his cheeks, and soaked the fur hood of his parka. Spencer groaned and wiped the water from his eyes. He saw Diane and Cassie in the back seat. They pointed at him, giggling. Jordan jumped out of the car. Hey, my aim is getting better, he declared, laughing. Lenny climbed out next. Yo, Spence, he called. We saw your car leaning too far to the left. Maybe you should cut down on the Snickers bars. The joke angered Spencer. So what if he was a little chubby? Who gave Lenny the right to make fun of him in front of Diane? Lenny is a jerk, Spencer decided angrily. A total jerk. Diane climbed out of the Jeep and began pulling bags from the back. Spencer watched in silence. He had tried to convince Diane that her new boyfriend was bad news, but Diane told him she didn't need his advice. The worst part was that she brought Lenny with her everywhere, to the movies, to Pete's Pizza, to the mall, to Spencer's uncle's cabin. Hey, this is excellent, Cassie's voice interrupted over Spencer's thoughts. Thanks for inviting us. Spencer felt a little better. Cassie could always cheer him up. No problem, he said softly. He stepped over to the girls and slung an arm around each of them. He watched Lenny stiffen as he passed by. It made him smile. Let's get a fire started, Spencer suggested to Diane and Cassie. He pulled open the cabin door, dark and very cold. Spencer searched for the wall switch and flooded the place with light. His uncle's cabin was beautiful, with a wide stone fireplace, a wall of floor-to-ceiling windows, and a cozy loft. How pretty, Diane exclaimed. She studied the room as she pulled off her gloves and ski cap. Whoa, Jordan cried as he dropped his backpack onto the living room couch. Your uncle must have some major bucks. Check out the stereo system. I always knew your Uncle Jarvis was loaded, Lenny agreed. Hey, Spence, how about a loan? Diane shoved him playfully. Give Spencer a break, she scolded. Yeah, give Spencer a break, Spencer thought bitterly. Take a long walk in the snow, Lenny, and don't come back. Spencer, Cassie called, it's freezing in here. Building a fire was a good idea. Spencer nodded. Sure, I'll have it warm in here in a few minutes. He pointed down the hallway. The cabin has 3 bedrooms. You have your choice. Go settle in while I build the fire. His friends disappeared, checking out all the rooms. Spencer carefully stoked a flame in the fireplace. He concentrated on building the fire. But a few seconds later, Lenny's angry voice from down the hall broke into Spencer's thoughts. Stop telling me what to do, Diane, Lenny warned. I didn't want to come up here in the first place. I came along for you. You didn't have to, Spencer heard Diane reply. You don't have to follow me around everywhere I go. You follow me. I don't follow you, Lenny insisted. Spencer heard Jordan step into the argument. Will you guys give it a rest? We're supposed to have fun this weekend. Spencer heard some muttered words. He couldn't make them out. He could hear Lenny mention his name. Then he heard Jordan laugh. Are they laughing at me? Spencer wondered. Spencer felt his cheeks turn red. Before Lenny joined their group, Jordan had been a really good friend. Was Jordan laughing at him now? Diane and Cassie drifted back into the living room, talking quietly. Spencer bent over the fire. He didn't want them to know he had heard them. Two large green leather sofas faced each other in the middle of the room. The couples paired off and plopped down on them. Immediately, they flipped on the widescreen television. Lenny wanted to see the hockey match. Jordan wanted to watch one of the Lethal Weapon movies. The girls wanted to tune in to a figure skating competition. Spencer sat on the floor and kept quiet. He knew Lenny would get his way. Lenny always got his way. A loud howl burst through the cabin. The back door blew open in the sudden wind and slammed against the wall. The lights flickered once, then the entire cabin went dark. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Lenny groaned. Oh, great, he said with a sigh. A power failure. No problem, Spencer announced. We've got candles and lanterns. Do you have a candle-powered TV? Jordan joked. Spencer ignored him. He climbed up from the rug and walked into the kitchen for the propane lantern. It took him a while to find it in the dark. Then he lugged it back to the coffee table and lit it. The room flickered with orange light. There, that's better. Spencer glanced at Lenny and saw an angry scowl on his face. Diane crossed her arms and stared straight ahead. An argument. They must have fought while he was out of the room. I didn't want to come here in the first place, Diane, Lenny muttered. Why do I let you convince me to do stuff like this? He stared right at Spencer as he spoke, as if he didn't care at all about Spencer's feelings. Diane slid away from Lenny on a couch. I'm really sick of your complaining, she snapped. You're acting like a baby. If it's so bad in here, why don't you go out and sit in the car? Spencer almost laughed out loud. He loved seeing Lenny blow it. Maybe Diane would dump Lenny this weekend. Lenny leapt to his feet. Fine, he snarled. If you want me, I'll be in the Jeep. He grabbed his coat and stomped outside, slamming the cabin door behind him. Don't you think you should go after him? Cassie asked Jordan. Jordan shook his head. He'll be back before you know it. It's freezing out. He just needs to blow off some steam. It will be the best thing for all of us. What's his problem anyway? Spencer asked, sitting beside Diane. School, Jordan answered. What else? Can't we talk about something besides Lenny? Cassie interrupted. I'm sure Diane would appreciate it. Spencer shifted his gaze to Diane. You okay? She shrugged. Yeah, fine. She turned her gaze to the orange flames dancing in the fireplace. A couple of minutes later, Jordan and Cassie snuggled close on their couch. They kissed, a long, passionate kiss. Diane stared straight ahead, acting as if she didn't notice, but it made Spencer uncomfortable. He decided to go get some wood from the shed. I'm going to bring in some more logs for the fire, he explained. Can I come with you? Diane asked softly. Sure, he answered. She hurried to get her coat from the bedroom. They left Cassie and Jordan kissing on the couch. Spencer held Diane's arm as they tramped through the snow. When they reached the shed where his uncle stored the firewood, he paused to light another lantern hanging from a peg. He saw Diane shiver. She glanced at the thick evergreens crowding around the shed. Spencer loaded kindling sticks while Diane took a seat on the chopping block. She sighed. I thought Cassie and Jordan were bad, she murmured, keeping her eyes on the trees. What do you mean? Spencer asked. You know, fighting all the time. But now, Lenny and I... Her voice trailed off. What's his problem anyway? Spencer demanded. Diane sighed. I don't know, she answered. I really don't. Sometimes we get along great, but sometimes he's just impossible, like tonight. She stopped to brush her straight blonde hair from her eyes. He's always losing it, she continued, especially when we're not doing what Lenny wants to do. He has to run the show, huh? Spencer asked. She nodded, and looked so sad that he dropped the sack of sticks to come over next to her. He tenderly cupped her chin in his hand and gazed into her soft brown eyes. Diane blinked and smiled. Before he realized what he was doing, Spencer leaned toward Diane, slowly, until their faces touched, until their lips touched. A hand grabbed Spencer's shoulder roughly, spun him around. He stared into Lenny's angry face. Spencer opened his mouth, but he didn't have time to say anything. Lenny punched him hard in the mouth. The pain seared through Spencer's jaw. He stumbled back. He stared at Lenny, stunned, felt warm blood trickle down his chin. Lenny came for him again, but Diane stepped between them. That's enough, she cried. Lenny, have you gone crazy? Lenny tried to push past her. She threw her slight weight against him, long enough to force him to stop. Stay away from Diane, Lenny screamed, or you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. Spencer stared at Lenny, feeling his anger rise. He lowered his gaze to the snow, saw the blood from his cut mouth puddling darkly at his feet, dark blood on the white snow, glowing in the lantern light. When Spencer raised his eyes, Lenny was dragging Diane back to the cabin. Spencer felt his fury build. This isn't right, Lenny, he thought. Not right at all. You can't treat people this way. I can't let you get away with this. I can't. This winter. Chapter 10. Cassie and I went to Pete's Pizza after school on Tuesday. She insisted we try the vegetarian surprise pizza. We ordered a large pie. But as soon as we started eating, I wished I had ordered our usual pepperoni. It wouldn't have been as healthy, but at least I wouldn't be picking off chunks of half-cooked carrot every few seconds. Diane, you look so stressed out, Cassie remarked, wiping cheese off her chin. I sighed. Sorry, I was just thinking about Brian. Cassie's mouth opened in shock. Huh? Brian? What about Brian? He called me last night, I told her. I pulled off a chunk of crust and nibbled at it. Cassie stared at me. You're kidding. What did he want? To get back together. What else does Brian ever want? She leaned across the table. Well, what did you tell him? I sighed. I told him it wasn't going to happen. Did he believe you? I don't know, Cassie. Then he got weird. He started threatening me, telling me I would be sorry if I stayed with Lenny. He started whispering, saying that he knew about our night games. Cassie let her pizza slice drop to her plate. Huh? How would he know about that? I shrugged. I don't have time to worry about Brian. I have bigger things to worry about, like Lenny. Are you two having problems? Cassie asked. Not really, I replied. I'm just worried about him. He's so angry all the time. I'm scared he'll lose it one of these times and do something really bad. He has been getting into trouble at school a lot, Cassie agreed. Yeah, I answered. It's something different every day. I shoved my plate away. But I know Lenny is a good guy. If people would just give him a break. We sat in silence for a moment. Cassie picked at her pizza. I sipped my Coke. Then we chatted about the night games. Spencer has changed a lot in a year, Cassie remarked. He still wears his sweaters inside out, I joked. But everything else about him has changed, Cassie insisted. He used to be, well, sort of a wimp. Now he seems so confident, so self-assured. He's a lot more fun, I admitted, although he's kind of scary sometimes. I mean, you get the feeling that he'll do anything, just for the adventure. I stopped when I saw Lenny burst into the restaurant. He staggered through the door, bumped against the first booth. Then, spotting us, he hurtled forward. Lenny? I started. His face was bright red, his features twisted. As he lurched toward us, he held his right hand. Oh! I cried out, as I saw the blood dripping from his hand. Lenny? I cried. Lenny, what's wrong? Chapter 11. Diane, Lenny dropped beside me in the booth. He grabbed a handful of napkins from the dispenser, wadded them up, and dabbed at his bleeding hand. What happened to your hand? I demanded shrilly. Mr. Crowell happened to my hand, he replied angrily. Huh? What are you talking about? Cassie asked. You didn't hit Mr. Crowell, did you? I inquired. Lenny shook his head impatiently. No, I wish I had. I cut my hand on my locker. Relief flooded through me. You punched your locker? I guessed. Yeah, he answered bitterly. I was so furious I couldn't think straight. What did Crowell do this time? I whispered. He got me kicked off the basketball team, Lenny replied, dabbing at his cut hand. Oh, no! I knew how much the basketball team meant to Lenny. How? Because of my grades, he mumbled. It's the same old story with him. He hates me. He always tries to ruin things for me. He went to the coach and told him I was failing algebra. Oh, wow, I muttered, shaking my head. Cassie tisk-tissed. I can't let him do this to me, Lenny said heatedly. I can't let him ruin my life. The season hasn't even started yet, and he already got me kicked off the team. Why don't you go in tomorrow and try talking to him, I suggested. He made a disgusted face. You don't get it, Diane. Crowell doesn't want to talk to me. He wants to get me thrown out of school. It's not that bad, I protested. Hey, guys. I glanced up to see Jordan slide in beside Cassie. He smoothed his wavy dark hair, then dipped into the pizza pan. Tough luck, Lenny, he said. I heard Crowell went to the coach today. News travels fast, Lenny muttered bitterly. The whole team knows by now, Jordan reported. He studied his slice of pizza with a small frown. He glanced at Cassie. You ordered this, didn't you? What's wrong with it? She asked. Why can't you just order plain old pepperoni for once? He asked. Why does it always have to be this weird lumpy stuff? He held a slice out for Lenny to inspect. See that? He said, pointing to an artichoke heart. Mutant food toppings. Lenny angrily pushed a slice from his face. Give me a break, Jordan, he snarled. Hey, give me a break, Jordan snapped back. Take it easy, guys, I warned. Yeah, take it easy, Jordan agreed, staring at Lenny. Let's talk about something else, okay? Good idea, Cassie said quickly. Are we sneaking out tonight? Jordan asked. Are we meeting Spencer after midnight? I guess so, I replied uncertainly. I turned to Lenny. He had the strangest expression on his face. Yes, tonight, he said thoughtfully. We are sneaking out after midnight. And tonight, no smashed lights or decorations. Tonight, we're really going to get Mr. Crowell. Chapter 12. I know. I'm Diane Brown. I'm supposed to be the sensible, practical one in our group. So why did I go along with these night games of Spencer's? And why didn't I argue with Lenny when he said he wanted us to return to Mr. Crowell's house and get revenge on him? It's hard to explain. I suppose I was as caught up in the excitement of the night games as everyone else. It was kind of thrilling to sneak out of the house, to walk around the neighborhood when no one else was awake, to be able to go anywhere we pleased and not be seen by anyone. Freedom, that's what it was. An exciting kind of freedom that made our skin tingle, made our senses more alert, made our hearts pound a little faster. When you stop to think about it, we don't have much freedom during the day. There is always someone around to tell us where we have to be and what we have to do. Always someone to say, go to school, do your homework, help your brother, do your chores, go to the store, go to bed. After midnight, roaming the silent sidewalks and yards of Shadyside, we were in charge. No one to tell us to turn left, turn right, cross the street. The world belonged to us. That was part of it. The other part was Spencer. He had changed so much in a year, not just his appearance. Yes, he had slimmed down. His face was slender and intense now. His body no longer chubby and weak-looking, but athletic and light. Something about his eyes. I can't really describe it. Spencer had always been a nice guy, kind of wimpy, not much on personality. Sort of a steady, dependable, uninteresting kind of guy. But now he could make you follow him with just a smile or a word. I guess that somehow he had become a leader. Not that he was bossy or pushy. He never tried to push us around. He just seemed so confident, as if he knew exactly what he was doing, as if he knew exactly what he wanted. And he wanted to have adventures late at night. Nothing heavy-duty. Nothing evil. Just adventures. At least that's what I thought, until the night Lenny insisted we return to Mr. Crowell's house. That night, it all shot out of control. That's the night we lost it, for good. It was a raw, cold November night. A solid frost hardened the ground and made the lawn shimmer like silver. I sneaked out the back door a few minutes after midnight and hurried to our meeting place in Spencer's backyard. My breath steamed up above me as I jogged across the yards. I hadn't bothered to zip my heavy down coat. It flapped noisily behind me as I ran. I was the first to arrive. I ducked down behind a low evergreen shrub and peered up at Spencer's bedroom window. Solid black. The entire house stood in darkness. A few moments later, Cassie and Jordan appeared. They seemed to be arguing, as usual. I couldn't catch what it was about. They stopped as soon as they saw me. Where's Spencer? Jordan demanded impatiently. I shrugged. He didn't climb out yet. I turned to Cassie. She had her coppery hair tucked under a black wool cap. How are you? She shivered and rubbed the sleeves of her parka. Cold? Is Lenny really going to take us back to Crowell's? Jordan demanded. Yeah, why not? A familiar voice interrupted. Lenny hunched down beside us. He wore his maroon and gray Shadyside Tigers basketball team jacket. I swallowed hard. I wanted to hug him. I knew how bad Lenny felt about being removed from the team. Where's Spencer? He's late, Lenny complained. He gazed tensely at his watch. It's nearly 12:30. We all stared up at the dark window. No sign of anyone or anything. I brought my cell phone, Jordan said, reaching into his pocket. Let's call him and... Put that away, Cassie cried. You'll wake up his parents. Oh, right. Jordan slid the little phone back into his pocket. We could throw little rocks at his window, I suggested. That's what they always do in the movies. Too risky, Cassie said. If we break a window... Maybe he forgot about us, Jordan suggested, frowning. How could he forget the night games? Lenny snapped. They're his idea. You don't have to jump down my throat, Lenny, Jordan cried. Shh, I stepped between the two boys. You're going to wake up the whole neighborhood. Well, it's too cold to wait out here much longer, Cassie said, shivering. Let's go. We've got to wait for him, Lenny insisted. Maybe you do, but I don't, Cassie shot back. You're a whole bunch of fun, Jordan told her, rolling his eyes sarcastically. Please, I whispered. Everybody, just stop. I gazed up at Spencer's window. Let's give him 2 more minutes, then... Spencer stepped out from the side of the house and signaled to us with a wave. The 4 of us scurried out from behind the bush to greet him. Once again, he wore a black sweatshirt over black denim jeans. He had a black ski cap pulled down over his white blonde hair. Where were you? We thought you forgot about us. It's so cold we were going to leave. He motioned with both hands for us to calm down. Sorry, guys. I fell asleep, he shrugged. I was studying, and I fell asleep. He glanced from one of us to the next. What's up? I want to go back to Krau's, Lenny told him eagerly. Lenny's dark eyes lit up excitedly. Tonight I want to do some damage. Some real damage. Whoa, Spencer cried. Hold on, Lenny. Yeah, hold on, Cassie chimed in. We want to have fun. We don't want to get in trouble. Lenny groaned. I really need to get this guy, Spencer, he pleaded. Tonight. Let's smash the rest of his lights. Let's... Spencer grabbed Lenny by the shoulders. Whoa, whoa. Hey, back off, Lenny pulled away angrily. He scowled at Spencer. This stuff was all your idea, man. Now you're going to wimp out? No way, Spencer insisted. But these night games aren't about revenge, Lenny. They're about having fun. That's what I'm saying, Lenny replied, breathing hard. Let's have fun by getting revenge. Lenny was so earnest, so totally serious, we all had to laugh, even Spencer. Lenny's expression remained intense. Hey, I know you and I didn't always get along, he told Spencer, lowering his gaze to the ground. I mean, we had some rough times, I remember, but that was a long time ago, right? And now you're with me, right? Spencer glanced at me, then at Cassie. Then he turned toward the street without answering Lenny. Let's go, guys, Spencer said softly. It's getting very late. As we trotted after him, I wondered what Spencer was thinking. Was he sorry that he had invited us to come along on his night games? Were we ruining the whole thing for him? Did he want to help Lenny get his revenge on Mr. Crow? Spencer and Jordan had been pretty good friends at one time, but Lenny and Spencer had never gotten along well at all. Had Spencer forgotten all about the old days? He seemed so changed. I bet that he had forgotten all about the unhappiness of the past. We stopped across the street from Mr. Crow's house. To our surprise, the lights in the front yard had all been turned off. Darkness washed over the house and yard. The metal reindeer and sleighs glimmered dully in the pale moonlight. No lights on in the house. Weird, Lenny muttered. Crow usually stays up late. We crossed the street and made our way quickly, silently up the driveway. Spencer peeked into the open garage. Car is gone, he reported. Mr. Crow must be out. Weird, Lenny repeated. On a school night? Spencer peeked into a side window. Jordan grabbed the stone window ledge and lifted himself up to peer into the living room window. No one home, Spencer whispered. A grin spread over his face. He slapped Lenny's shoulder. You're a lucky night, man. Lenny grinned back at him. What are we going to do? He motioned to the front yard. Get to work on the Christmas decorations? No way, Spencer replied. He turned to glance back at the house next door, also completely dark. Then he turned back to the side window. What does Spencer have in mind? I wondered. Why is he grinning like that? Why does he look so excited? He raised both hands to the frame of the side window, and he gave a hard push. The window slid up easily. Come on, guys, Spencer whispered, hoisting himself up. We're going in.